Joe Biden of the United States of America has finally touched down in Africa. After promises of a lot of mandate, he finally started to visit the country of Angola in Africa. So, president that is already at the end of his term, that is going to transfer his presidency to the newly President-elect Donald Trump in the month of January, this 2025, has finally came to Africa. Why actually is the need for Joe Biden to come to Africa at this time where his influence has already started to wither away? We have seen the impact of the President-elect Donald Trump everywhere around the world, shaping geopolitics before he even starts to take Washington. We have heard a lot of geopolitical decisions being made or wielded in the Middle East, in China, in Mexico, European Union, in Canada, before Donald Trump even take office. So why the need for Joe Biden to be in Africa at a time where his decisions might not even stand? So, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, we'll try to discuss the reason why Joe Biden is in Africa, or particularly in Angola. If you are new to this channel, this is Get Post. We cover African finance, business, and economic stories from around the continent. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe to our channel, like and share our videos if you like the videos, and also do put down your comments in the comment sections below. So, as I have been saying, it looks like there is no need for Joe Biden to come to Africa at this time where he's going to already transfer his presidency to President-elect Trump. As we all know, President-elect Trump, or the former President Donald Trump, has no intention to engage with Africa in any manner. He considered the continent to be something that I'm not gonna say here. He was disrespecting the continent of Africa clearly, and does not shy away from belittling the leaders or the continent, the nations within the continent. He has never even thought about coming to Africa. So it is a bit gray area for African governments. The next 4 years will be too much of a gray area, diplomatically speaking. Until now, he has been assigning a lot of ambassadors to different areas, including nations, but we haven't heard any assignments or appointments to any African nation or bigger organizations like the African Union by the United States President-elect. So, keeping this at bay, the main topic for today's video is why Biden is in Africa. So Biden visited the nation of Angola mainly for two reasons. They might say 3-4 other reasons might be part of the U.S. president's visit to the continent of Africa or Angola this past week, but the main reasons are two. They are the oldest reasons. The main reason for the US president's visits to the continent of Africa is those reasons that have been always made the international community or the people in the West came to Africa. Resources, influences. Well, these two are basically interconnected. So there is a corridor called Lobito, which connects the countries of Angola, Zambia, and Democratic Republic of Congo. So when you consider these three countries, you might notice that one of our gemstones, yes, Democratic Republic of Congo, a nation that is abundant with natural resources, a nation with crazy geological achievements, but who still struggle with internal civils, with internal political struggles. So everyone wants to extract minerals from Africa. So there is a railway corridor that connects these three countries that is critical to get minerals out of the continent to those hungry factories in the West that are trying to produce or that are trying to mass produce modern technologies, including those items that are important in manufacturing electric vehicles, mobile phones, and many other equipments of the future. So the United States, which was highly being beaten by the policies of China over the past decade, is now trying to get ahead of China. So the main reason for Biden's visit at this last time is to fulfill a promise of resource extraction for the merchants or for the manufacturers or for those business persons in the West, so that American companies can easily extract minerals from these three countries and transport them to the nearest port and get it to the US. Plus, they also want to counter the influence of China in the continent of Africa. As we may all have known, China has been investing heavily in the continent of Africa through its Belt and Road Initiative. They have pumped billions of dollars into different nations within the continent of Africa, from building railways, airports, roads, and many other infrastructural projects in the nations of Africa. So through that, via that, China is also placed in a very critical place. They are taking advantage of vast natural resources, untapped mineral resources in different countries around Africa. They are using that to propel or to power their factories, their EV factories, their mobile factories, or their factories building the next generation technologies. So it is all about cobalt, it's all about copper, it's all about natural resources. So guys, as an African, it is the same old story again and again and again. 100 years back, the Westerners told that it was easy to extract the resources or every ounce of natural resources this continent have via force. It was easy to come to Africa and colonize, take everything by power, and propel their industrial revolution. So they needed resources for their factories. They needed cheap labor to propel their textile factories. Then they came to Africa. They took everything via power. They propelled that to the extent the lifestyle of their population flourished, and they achieved human development, economic development like never seen before in human history. So finally, they have a aha moment. Now they say they want to save the planet. They want to be sustainable. So how to do it? Again, in order to transition to sustainability, they needed some other minerals. So what is next? It might not be possible now to wage wars in the continent of Africa, but there is something else they can do. They can pit politicians together. They can also extract natural resources by pumping their dollars to the continent that is starving for foreign currency. And finally, Africa will still stay as a raw material provider for the biggest factories in the Western area. So finally, The reason why both the US President Joe Biden or China have been here or investing here or coming to Africa is just to extract the natural resources. It is not like they do really care about the continent of Africa. I know there might be a lot of people out there in the West or in America or in Europe that really care about the people here in Africa, but for governments, it is always a transaction. It is always a business. It is always about gaining a profit. It is always give and take. So what do you think about the visit by the United States of American government, Joe Biden, to the continent of Africa this past week? Please put down your comments in the comment section below. If you like the video, please do like and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, bye-bye, ciao.